Today's headline on the war with Iran: President Trump declaring a deal to end the fighting, including reopening the Strait of Hormuz, is almost at hand.
But as senior contributor Ted Koppel tells us, another battle is raging, far from the front lines.
1940, and German armies were invading and seizing one European country after another.
Nazi Stuka dive bombers are strafing and bombing thousands of helpless women and children.
What Hitler and the Nazis were doing wasn't just frightening, it was terrifying.
His Excellency is about to descend the stairs.
It would take more than a slapstick Hollywood comedy to turn the tide, but Charlie Chaplin, as an Adolf Hitler lookalike, gave the world an insight to the power of mockery.
The point with all political satire is to mock those in power. It's to lampoon them because it emasculates them.
Brett Schaefer is with the Institute for Strategic Dialogue, where he studies foreign propaganda.
People who are in power, I think, are okay with being criticized. What they're not okay with is being ridiculed and sort of cut down to size.
And down through the decades, when it came to marketing a product, a campaign, no one in the world excelled at that like Hollywood and Madison Avenue. Certainly no American president.
You're fired. Nobody builds walls better than me, believe me. This is so exciting, isn't it?
None has used and orchestrated modern media
Make America great again.
more effectively than Donald Trump.
The Strait of Hormuz must be shut.
So it's something of a mystery that in the propaganda battle currently being waged between the United States and Iran, global reaction suggests the Iranians are beating us at our own game.
I thought this was easy peasy.
When the president posted this image of himself, Christ-like, tending to an ailing patient, it was the Iranian embassy in Tajikistan, of all places, that responded, amassing 24 million views.
What is this?
24.1 million views.
Diplomatic accounts never get that amount of views. We did a study looking at Iranian accounts on X 50 days prior to the start of the war. There was a 30-fold increase in the number of views and the number of likes. So Iranian diplomats, these are embassies, these are consulates, so almost 900 million views.
And you attribute that to?
I attribute that to the style of the content they put out.
Subtle? About as subtle as a brick. But people are watching by the millions. And some of the messages, like these on the cost of war, some messages linger.
This kind of messaging, I think, is going to resonate the most with American audiences. And so if you want to degrade support for the war within the US, you point to how much it's costing. This also requires almost no budget. This is just a guy with AI generation tools. So there's been a democratization of propaganda. This is kind of outsourced to content creators.
Some of the most popular videos come from an outfit that calls itself Explosive Media. They've put Iran's message into Lego format. I spoke with their representative in Tehran through a translator. May I have a name that I can call you?
He's Mr. Explosive.
Why Lego, I wondered.
First of all, Lego is a universal language. Every people around the world can understand it without saying anything.
From the streets of Tehran to the avenues of DC.
I get it. I speak no Farsi. The translator speaks limited English, which raises this interesting question. Who's doing that silky rap on all those videos?
I wake up in Tehran, but I'm wearing your brands. Listening to Wu-Tang while I'm washing my hands. Of the propaganda fed by the man in the suit. I love the fruit of your culture, just not the root.
The hip-hop is so smooth, so distinctly US of A, that you're left to wonder whether there's a team of American contributors stashed away somewhere in Tehran.
Between your flag and my home, there's a bridge made of gold, but your leaders keep burning every story we've told.
But no, more likely than not, we're being introduced, as Brett Schaefer has suggested, to yet another extraordinary example of artificial intelligence. AI, after all, is fluent in colloquial American.
I love your people's heart, their drive and their grit, but your White House pen, I got no love for it.
It's clickable, it's shareable. People are not engaging with serious content. They're not engaging with diplomatic statements.
I was involved in an information warfare unit that was designed to combat Russian, Chinese, and to some extent Iranian disinformation. That unit was wiped out.
Jamie Rubin ran the State Department's Global Engagement Center. Congress eliminated its funding in 2024. Before then, he was chief spokesman and Assistant Secretary of State for Public Affairs during the Clinton administration.
This is a painful subject because we haven't followed the rules, the basic requirements to build support for a military action. It has to start with a good cause, an urgent cause, a cause that people agree with. It has to include allies, and then it has to have a trusted messenger. And it pains me to say this, but right now, we don't have any of those qualities in this war with Iran.
Rubin says the Trump administration has discarded many of the assets that used to support the U.S. government at war.
The entire description of our policy is now controlled by the White House. If you have to go back to the White House to get approval for every sentence, every rebuttal, every response, you've lost the game. You've lost the war, the information war.
Wake up, Daddy's home.
Early on in the war, back in March,
What will you do without freedom?
Mavericks inbound.
the White House did release a couple of videos mixing actual footage of the war with scenes from SpongeBob.
You want to see me do it again?
The NFL, college football, and Hollywood. Lots of explosions.
I'm here to fight for truth and justice in the American way.
I am the danger. Time to find out.
The videos captured hundreds of millions of views, but stopped after the White House was accused of gamifying the war.
Flawless victory.
What's come since has been any number of presidential contributions on Truth Social.
Okay, we have it in our seg. Fire. Boom.
We asked the White House to provide someone to lay out the administration's case. Was there a direct response to Iran's propaganda? They offered the following statement, which we're reading in full. Why is CBS News doing propaganda for a terrorist regime? Under President Trump's leadership, the United States decimated the Iranian regime's military capabilities in 38 short days and is now strangling what's left of their dismal economy with one of the most successful naval blockades in history. Iran should be less concerned with winning the meme war and more concerned with making a deal to save their country.
Make America great again.
Propaganda is a weapon of war.
Send them to the slaughter, you the only one to blame.
These days, Iran has zeroed in on the Epstein files and the charge that Israel somehow used those files to draw America into the war. You're saying that Israel used information from the Epstein files to blackmail the President of the United States into declaring war against Iran. Is that correct?
Yes, this is correct.
There are many rumors and there are many charges, and I rather doubt that you in Iran have seen any evidence of that.
I think we should have some realistic perspective. You should not expect that the immoral documents of President Trump to be on internet.
In other words, don't be so naive.
If the public ever saw the files, man, the planet would shake.
Effective propaganda doesn't require that a charge be true. Sometimes the mere suggestion that it might be is enough. Iran can and literally does reach around much of the world into every pocket with a phone. It's powerful, it's creative, and it's reaching an engaged audience. American propaganda does not enjoy the same advantage in Iran, where the internet has been largely blocked. That's a problem. It's a handicap, but it may be more useful to address it than ignore it.